My name is Crystal Green, and I'd like to talk to you about the three synoptics and a canonical. No, not the lead into a dad joke, but this is the life and ministry of Jesus Christ. So let's get into it. You might ask, what is the gospel? Now, the gospel is the message of the life and death of Jesus Christ, the kingdom of God, and ultimately salvation. So, which book is the gospel? Or are there more than one? Yes, there's more than one book of the Bible that is the gospel. There are four gospels, and in fact, those four gospels are the first four books in the New Testament. We've got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These are synoptic. Actually, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, as you see, are synoptic, but John is a canonical. And let's talk about the difference real quick. All four of these books are canonicals. They're set by the standard of the early church. However, Matthew, Mark, and Luke are synoptics, and let's get into that. The three synoptics are viewed together as an overall or a complete history. Each covers the birth, transfiguration, and the death of Christ. They complement each other with overlapping material, and each were written in a different style for the different audiences. Now, in fact, all four books were written in a different style for different audiences. First up is the book of Matthew. The first of the four Gospels was originally written in either the Aramaic or Hebrew language. Now, this is still up for debate by some. I think the main focus is that we get to see the genealogy and infancy of Jesus Christ. We get to see the teaching of Jesus as the Messiah. In fact, the Sermon on the Mount is documented in the book of Matthew, as well as the Beatitudes, that is the Sermon on the Mount. So Matthew is being a tax collector and apostle. This is written for the audience of the Jewish community, and it is listed that Matthew, or the writer of Matthew, was not a witness to Jesus' life. Now, the book of Mark is believed to have been written by himself. It is a documentation for public ministry of Jesus. The suffering servant passages, all four of those passages are documented quite clearly in the book of Mark. In fact, the suffering servant passages are when Jesus was sent on a mission from God, the fact that there was suffering on behalf of another, after the suffering and rejection, being exalted and vindicated, or the crucifixion, and his sufferings bringing salvation, blessings, and justice to all. Now, this is a disciple of Peter who is the writer, and this was not an eyewitness to Jesus Christ's life, but the audience is for the Romans. The third book of the gospel is Luke. He was a Gentile convert. He documented not just the birth of Jesus Christ and the birth of John the Baptist, but the ministry of both. He was a great physician, as my mother would call him, and an accurate historian. Now, he aided Paul, but was not an eyewitness to Christ's life. And in fact, if you look, one of the favorite verses that are listed here in Luke is for the Son of Man has come to seek and to save the lost. That is Luke 19, verse 10. So, great book, many passages. This is the audience for the Greeks, and really also about the community and the culture that was around. And last but not least, we have the book of John. John goes way back. In fact, it starts with the word logos. That is Greek for back to the beginning. And it starts with a poem about the Word connecting Jesus as God. In fact, that is quoted as, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That is John chapter 1, verse 1. The book of John has no parables or exorcisms. It does include the various festivals, washing of the feet, as well as the signs and wonders. Now, there is 90% different content from the Synoptic Gospels, and the writer is believed to have been the eyewitness of Christ's life due to the writer's perspective. The audience for this book is the whole world. So as we've looked at all four Gospels, it is giving us a beautiful overview and a really complete picture. In fact, A great quote that I've seen is that it has been said the four Gospels are not histories or biographies, but historical and theological portraits of the person and the ministry of Jesus Christ. Reading all four Gospels is important as well. You just can't leave any of them out. In fact, the quote that I also have here is, each gospel is a unique theological narrative, painstakingly written to meet the specific religious needs of the author's community. That is by Lyle D. Vanderbroek. So at this point, we have discussed the three synoptics and a canonical. I think we've had a nice rounded view of the life and the ministry of Jesus Christ, and I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.